Hi, my name is Gustavo Braga, and in this channel and in this person, you're gonna find the 6 contagious things. And also in this video, I'm gonna talk about them right now. Learning those 6 things will really influence your life because you will have a huge influence over others, over brains in general, yours and other people's brains. It's amazing. When I tell you those 6 things, you will recognize some of them, and you will recognize that they are contagious, but you have never seen them together in this list. And I'm going to show you why they are contagious, and also why mastering them gives you amazing power over yourself and others. Okay, let me actually, before I list them down, let me paint you a picture. You know, there's a guy called Javen, just made up his name. He is a polyglot, okay? He speaks 10 languages. He is an amazing musician, and he can draw people to his music, and he can perform concerts in several countries in several languages because he speaks those 10 languages. So you can already see how powerful this person is, right? This guy is also very funny. Besides being a great musician, he's also a great comedian. And he can also draw flocks of people towards him because they want to hear him speak. And because he has a way with words, and he can communicate and keep those people's attention for hours and hours. He can even do both music and laughter on the same concert. And it doesn't even have to be in a concert. It can be in a little gathering or just talking to one person. You can already see the power of this person, a polyglot, who can not only speak 10 languages, but make music in 10 languages and make people laugh in 10 languages. What the fuck? This guy is so powerful. Maybe you're making the list in your mind right now of the 6 contagious things. This guy has 3. Money. This guy makes a lot of money from doing those things or not, but he knows how to create products. He knows how to find people's pain and solve them through services and products. This guy knows how to delegate. He knows how to define processes for companies, and he has the power to create several businesses, both when it comes to his music and his laughter, his comedy, but also to other things. They are completely unrelated to what he does as a person, just because he has mastered the skill of money. This guy, even though he does a lot of stuff, he's a great thinker as well. The fact that he can make people laugh for hours comes from the fact that he thinks a lot, that he observes the world, that he draws lessons from the world and examples and allegories, and he makes his ideas concrete through analogies, metaphors, and he makes those lessons interesting. And this is why he makes them interesting by being a great storyteller and also making people laugh, also through laughter and comedy. Fuck, this guy is amazing. Okay, and in order to do that, this guy has mastered the power of doing nothing. Yes. In order to observe the universe, to observe his thoughts, himself, He has mastered the power of contemplation and also of boredom, of being tedious. And he draws people towards him as well through that, because that creates his art. And also that creates discipline. Learning not to engage in immediate pleasure, if you think about it, is the center of everything that you want to do that's difficult. Learning not to listen to every instinct or every actually call to have fun or impulsive decision that you feel like making is at the core of accomplishing great things. And this guy is a great storyteller, and not only because he can make amazing music, not because he's a poet, because to make music you have to make poetry, not only because he can make people laugh and engage people and make them remember a message by making them laugh, but also because they can make people cry. Cry because they connect to him as a human being, because he opens himself up and he is vulnerable, and also because he can talk about other people's pains and vulnerabilities. This is a superhuman. I think you can see that. How a person who can do all of the things that I just told you is a great and amazing person, and his power of influence over himself and others is unfathomable. And this guy has complete freedom. Because if you think about it, for example, if you don't have one of those things, you can also be a terrible person, right? For example, if this guy, you probably know these 6 things already on your mind right now as I tell you this story, but I will list them down to you in a second. Don't worry. This guy, imagine he's a polyglot. He makes great music. He makes people laugh, but he doesn't know how to deal with money. What's going to happen? He's going to lose his money. He's going to end up on the street. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just going to go back to being a regular guy, because he's not going to have as much power, as much reach as he would if he had money to invest on his message, basically. And on his freedom, and on the fact that he doesn't have to think about survival in order to live. Imagine this guy, he is a polyglot, he is a great musician, he makes people laugh, he has a lot of money, but he hasn't mastered the power of doing nothing and of reflection, contemplation, and facing boredom and stressful situations. He's gonna do drugs, he's gonna engage in impulsive things, he's gonna be one of those rock stars that go rock bottom. He will have some influence, they will have a lot of influence, maybe, but it's not gonna be sustainable, and also he's gonna lose the respect of many things. So you can see how learning how to master boredom really plays a huge role here. Let's say this guy has all of the other skills, but he's not great at sharing bad news and making people cry through true connection. Well, I would say he would be quite successful, but he wouldn't be memorable, truly. Mastering those 6 things is a recipe to success, really. Even if you don't work with them, even if you don't share all of them in your life or throughout the world, even if you don't tour the world sharing those 6 things, even if you learn some of them as a hobby and just as a way to expand the way you see life. The 6 things are language, music, laughter, money, yawns, and bad news. These are the 6 contagious things. Things that when a human does, another human cannot help themselves but do. Language. When we go to a different country and we get immersed in someone's language, we tend to learn it much quicker. Also, speaking someone's native language is a shortcut to their heart, to their brain, to their minds. It really gives you a lot of points when it comes to connecting to this person. We also learn language when it comes to our own native language in the sense of vocabulary, communication skills, expressions which are in the realm of vocabulary, intonation, having an aggressive communication or not, learning how to listen as well, your accent, your original accent. These are all aspects of language. Mastering those things can already give you a huge power over yourself and others. And they can make you a giant. A giant. This is what I'm talking about here. These 6 things make you a giant. This is what I'm telling you. Music. Mastering how to listen to music. Yes, because music has a huge impact over your emotional state. So using music as a tool of handling your emotional state is great. And also learning how to master music to change other people's mental and emotional state and draw flocks of them towards you. And not even you. It doesn't even have to be you as the image of yourself, as like your alter ego in a way. It could be, you could attract these people to a message, to a character, to a direction that you find honorable. Music is woven into the fabric of the universe. And I will be brave here by saying that music is the universe. Or rather, the universe is music. Because we tend to think of music as a separate entity, right? Okay, so there's the universe and nature invented music, or God invented music. I won't remember right now the actual quote, but I believe someone very important said that the universe or the world without music would be a mistake. But this is, in my view, in an accurate statement. There is no life without music. There's no way. I'm not saying that it's, maybe you know where I'm going with this, but I'm not saying that music is like completely necessary because it's very good. Oh, I like music so much. If there weren't music, I don't know, what would I do with my life? No, I don't mean it that way. I mean it in a physical way. You know, music is rhythm, is frequency. Music is frequency. Music is frequency. Both when it comes to the rhythm, like this is a rhythm. This is frequency, right? And also to the notes. These are frequencies. So this is frequency, and la 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 la. This is frequency as well. Okay. This as well. So there is no universe without frequency. There's no way. Like, music is the propagation of frequency through matter. If there were music, you know, in order for there not to be music, I think you understand what I'm going with this, you know, that there wouldn't be a universe if there weren't music, and the other way around. So these things are intricate, they're woven together, and they are the same thing in if depending on how you view it. And there are certain things in music that are quite instinctive. Actually, music is instinctive to humans. Every civilization, every tribe, every group of human beings has invented music, has discovered music. It's just as natural as anything else, as fire, for example. Pentatonic, the pentatonic scale. I really encourage you to see a video by Bobby McFerrin. This guy is a magician. He plays his voice. He has huge... Fuck, this is beautiful. This is actually where I'm going, because I want to be able to master my voice incredibly the way he does. My voice is my main instrument. So he plays his voice. He doesn't add lyrics to his music, so it means that he can do that around the world. There you go. Like, it's because it's a universal language, we can connect to every human being around the world. And he also plays audiences as his instrument. You know, he assigns certain notes and certain little musical tasks to each part of the audience, and they do it together, and he sings over them. Amazing, I love it. And there's a video. He goes to a neuroscience event. He makes an experiment, a demonstration, that at the end he reveals that he has done around the world, and the result is always the same. What he does is, I'll summarize here, I really encourage you to watch it. He stands on the stage, and he assigns 2 notes to different parts of the places he's standing, like na, la, la, and everyone repeats la, 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 la. I believe that was the note. La, la. And then he starts jumping around. La, 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 la. And the audience, he didn't give them the final note. He didn't give them the final note. Everyone just intuitively knew the next note. He continues to do that. Na, 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 na. Like, people keep on guessing new notes on the scale, and he actually jumps around the whole stage, both up and down, and people keep on singing the next note. And this gives me chill only remembering this, because it's amazing. I always come back to this, and I always cry thinking about this, because this is amazing. I really, really, really love music and how they connect us as humans. I'm almost crying right now. So watch that video. Okay, watch that. So, music, language, music, laughter. There's no true, there's no conclusive explanation to why we laugh and to why laughter is contagious. But something we do know is that it gives you a huge influence over people. I know. When you laugh together, both at each other, or like with each other, or about something else, like, it is, you earn so many points with that person, in a way, if you put it that way. This person is so much more likely to listen to you, to remember what you said, to remember you as a person, and to trust you. And as we laugh together, we kind of invite each other to this contemplation of that moment. And I'll let me skip money, which is the 4th thing, and connect this to yawns. Oh, there's no true explanation why we yawn. I mean, there is a few explanations. For example, it's a way to cool off your brain, but there's no true explanation for why someone else yawns when we yawn. This is crazy. The closest to an explanation is, have you yawned? Make yourself yawn now. Comment if you yawned. I'm making myself yawn now. Thinking about yawning. The closest to an explanation is recognizing your species, okay? You yawn when I yawn because we are the same species, and this is a way for us to connect and to recognize each other. I will read more into this. I don't know all the science behind these 6 things, but I promise that I will bring more videos here as I find out about them. Woo! All right. However, and this is why I connected laughter and yawning, I believe yawning is an invitation to contemplation. Yes, think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this. And this is me saying, this is like almost a poetic interpretation, but stay with me. What do you do when you see something that is amazing? What do you do when you see something that is incredible, that is formidable, that is gigantic? You do like this, right? We breathe in and we open our mouths. It's gonna sound crazy what I'm about to say. What if, when you yawn, you are seeing something so big that you cannot see? Okay, I know this is bonkers. Stay with me here. Invisible things are not only the microscopic ones, but also the incredibly big ones, you know? You could be so close to something that you can't see it. So you might be seeing something that is formidable, that is magnificent, that is unfathomable, that is gigantic, and you can just not wrap your mind around it. Think about this. Think about wrapping your mind around something in a physical sense. You know, like I cannot wrap my mind around this. Like looking at the sky. You know, like I just look I see a little piece of it. I cannot visualize the whole thing. And when you yawn, we also associate yawn to boredom. Remember the guy that I told you about? He masters the ability to be bored and also to contemplate and to relax and to observe. Is yawning can be that. Let's just continue this thought of contemplation. When someone yawns with me, I'm inviting them to contemplate. Like, look at this thing that I'm looking at right now. And you're not gonna see it either, but you're gonna admire it with me. Okay? It can be poetic. It doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be scientific in this case, but we are going into poetry right now. And I like to see yawning as an invitation to contemplation. Because yawning is associated to boredom and to doing nothing, right? And this is, as I said, one of the best skills that you can master. Because not listening to every impulsive decision that your brain wants to make is at the core of achieving anything that is substantial in life. And learning how to observe your thoughts and your breathing and your space and your body and your attitude and your decisions, and also the same thing for others, and reflecting and sharing your reflections and everything. So it all comes from doing nothing, from the ability to do nothing. Now let me go back to laughter for a bit. Why did I mention yawns? Because one of the explanations to laughter is a reaction to panic, is a panic reaction. Think, for example, about tickles, about getting tickled. Where are you the most sensitive? You are the most sensitive on your neck, your armpits, your ribs, and your belly, right? The bottom of your feet. And if you think about it, those are some of the most vulnerable parts of your body, and part that if get injured, you would compromise your survival. If you get injured in your rib cage, or if you injured any of the organs inside your core, so your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your intestines, you would be compromised. Also on your neck, there are very important nerves and veins, where through which very important information travels, and they are essential to your survival as well. So if you think about this, laughter could be it could be a reaction of panic that kind of lingered. Just for example, like we hiccup, hiccup is no longer necessary, but it was necessary because there was a way to ruminate. It was rumination. You had to vomit something and then swallow it back again in order to facilitate digestion, because we had to eat many things that were not very easily digestible back in the days that we ate like raw meat, like very rough things, okay, that we didn't cook things, we didn't break them down into smaller particles in order for them to be more easily digestible. However, we haven't forgotten that, the hiccup still exists. Just as laughter could be one of those evolutionary remnants. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. Okay. However, you understand how making someone laugh can really give you a huge power, and also making yourself laugh in tough situations or in any situation. I laugh sometimes also from pure contemplation. I do. For example, I remember I traveled to Maragogi once. It was my first trip by myself, and I really laugh at autonomy in the sense that when I feel autonomous and when I feel independent and connected to what I'm doing, I laugh out loud. I celebrate by myself, together. I start laughing out loud. It's crazy. So about Maragogi, I used to sometimes, I was staying at a hostel, and I used to work at this hostel as a volunteer. I stayed there for 2 weeks, and there was a beach right in front of the hostel, and it was amazing. It was incredible, like one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. And what I would do sometimes is I would wake up and I would zombie my way across the avenue to get into the ocean and watch the sunrise from within the ocean. The waves are so calm in the beginning of the morning, and as the sun rose, they would reflect on those waves, and I would float there by myself, looking at those little boats in the horizon, looking at the sun rising, feeling the rocking of the ocean on my body, and I would cry and laugh at the same time. And it happens in those situations of connection to nature. For example, when I was in Arraial do Cabo, in the first day that I got there, I went to see the sunset, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I feel myself with love just remembering that. Listening to the ocean crash, looking at that such a colorful sky, is just incredible. And I start laughing and crying at those moments as well. Also, when I went to see the whales, I did laugh. It wasn't such an emotional moment because I couldn't reflect so much. There were so many people screaming, "Ah, look at her!" But it was amazing as well, like a true connection to nature, seeing a whale be so close to me, an animal that I admire so much, and that I tattooed to my fucking body, and that I use as a symbol of being a giant without diminishing others. And I'll get into that later. Yes, money. Money, mastering business, mastering the energy of money is what will give you financial security and freedom to do anything you want to do in life. So understanding people's pains and learning how to solve them with products and services is one of the best skills, one of those 6 equally important skills that you can develop. And it's contagious. All of those 6 things are contagious. Being with people that have mastered the skill of money intuitively teaches you that as well. You can actually stop and study with them. You can ask questions. You can learn business, but you can also get kind of influenced by them in the sense that, for example, you feel more worth for your service. For example, if you are among business people that make 100,000 a year or more, you are much more likely to, if they hire your service, you're much more likely to charge more. Like if you charge, for example, for a visual identity project, $2,000, you would charge like 6, 8, 10,000 as you progressed also in your storytelling technique required to create great visual identity. But you would feel much more comfortable to charge more money because they would be much more comfortable to pay for that money. So being with people that make more money gives you more money. It's just consequence. There's no way that if you live with 10 millionaires daily, you don't become a millionaire by at least the end of the year. There's no way. There's no way. If you want to do it, you do it. There's no way. You're going to find something. It can be your product or a service. You're going to find a system. You're going to learn to delegate. You're going to have the contacts and the resources to make something that will make you a millionaire happen. And it's not even going to be something so amazing. Like it's going to be, I sold 1 million products they are worth $1 and I made $1 million this year. You're gonna learn the system, and I'm not a millionaire yet. Actually, I'm pretty far from that yet, but I do see the power of being with people that have made that money, and buying access to those people is what provides you with that money. This is one of the most predictable factors to your wealth is whether or not you spend with people that have wealth. Okay. And the last one is bad news. Bad news is the thing that connects us truly as humans. Yes. Think about that guy that I told you about. Oh, this guy is so perfect. He speaks 10 languages. He's a great musician. He is so rich. He makes people laugh, and I hate that because everyone wants to give him attention. And he even meditates. He does yoga. He writes poetry and everything. Oh, I hate that guy. Remember, if you miss one of those 6 skills, you are not going to connect to humans. Truly. This is why bad news is so important. Bad news is sharing your vulnerable self. We only connect to you for real when you share something bad about you. Remember that guy that is perfect that I just told you about? You learn that he started making music in honor of his mother. And his mother used to sing him every night when he went to sleep. And she died in a car accident, and then he started making music for her. And he uses in his first album a phrase that her mother used to tell him every time before he went to sleep. Remember to breathe. Remember to Breathe is the name of his first album, because that's what his mother used to tell him. Okay, so you are much more likely now to have connected with this guy because he shared something bad about him, okay? And you have to continuously do that. You cannot just live off of one story from your childhood. You cannot just like milk or like extract so much from the memory of your dead mother. There will be manipulation. You have to truly be vulnerable, you know? Storytelling. There is no story without conflict. There is no story without conflict. A story, quote unquote, without conflict is a report. I went to the desert. I was thirsty. I drank some water. I go back home. This is not a story. A story has context, conflict, and resolution. No conflict, no story. I was in the Atacama Desert with my friends. We saw this car, like an old rusty car in the middle of the desert. And I said to my friends, hey guys, look at that car. And I started running towards the car. When I got to the car, like happy and look at this, like why is this doing here? When I turned around, my friends were no longer there. And I shouted their names and I had no response. As time passed by, I would slowly lose hope. I was laughing, like, and having fun. Hey guys, stop that, stop hiding. Hey, show up, like, come on. I have to go back home. 1 hour passed by, no response. It was steamy hot. You couldn't even touch that car because it was so hot. You realized you were thirsty and you had to drink some water. So you saw on your little bag that you had a bottle of water. There was about like, it had a quarter bottle. It was a small bottle. We had a quarter of it, like a few milliliters. And you drank a bit of it. And you, because you knew how to save it for later. And you rested the bottle on the car. A few seconds passed by. And I realized the car is steaming hot. If I don't remove this bottle from the car right now, I'm gonna lose my water because the plastic is gonna melt. You were quick enough to remove the water remove the bottle without it burning, but there was a hole. There was a hole in the bottle, and it was a huge roll. So when you removed it, you lost like 90% of the water. So you turn the bottle around to keep that little water on the cap side of the bottle, and you were walking like this with the little water that you had lost most of it. And you started walking. There's no way you'd be just still there waiting for help. You had to walk somewhere. You walked for hours and hours and hours until you you realized you finally decided to have that last sip of water. However, it was so hot that it evaporated through the hole on the other side, and you had no drop left. Okay, this is a story because this has conflict. Now you are rooting for this person because you connect to this person. This person is suffering. If you think about a film, for example, notice that the hero doesn't win until halfway through the film. They lose first. So they give you context. Who is this person? Where do they live? Who do they live with? What is their mission? What are their values? How do they act? How do they speak? They make you get acquainted with that character. And then this person starts losing. They are weak and they lose and they lose and they lose and they lose. And then at one point they start winning. And however, at that point, you are rooting for them because you have connected to them through their suffering and vulnerability. You want the guy into the desert to win. You want them to survive. However, what happens when the exact opposite happens? We have a villain. A villain is someone who always wins. They win, they win, they win, they win to win. They win a battle against the hero. They win in destroying something they wanted to destroy. They win in burning a building. They win in several things. And they are so confident and they always believe they're going to win and win and win. And what happens when they lose? We lose it. We love it. We love it when the villain loses. And we love it when the underdog wins. And this is what happens when you only share good news. People cannot naturally root for you. There's no connection. There's no true connection. You could be that guy that speaks 10 languages, makes music, makes amazing music, makes people laugh, has the ability to stop and do nothing sometimes, and has the ability to make money, but you're not going to connect to people on a true human level if you don't share the bad news. So these are the 6 contagious things. Mastering those 6 things makes you a giant. This is my path. This is a path that I want to share with you. Mastering, learning those 6 things. By the way, English is not my first language. My first language is Portuguese. So it's been a while that I'm on the way of mastering those 6 things. And even before I learned about them, I was on that path. And I just noticed that those are the 6 things that connect me, and I realized why. That connect me, that embrace all of my existence. Okay, I don't know where I started singing. Perfect. So, thank you a lot for watching this video. Leave a comment below this video about reflections that you made throughout the video and the audio if you just listen to it. Tell me which of those 6 things is already developed in you or is on the way to being developed. What is missing? What is to be developed? On this channel, my mission is to talk about those things. So there will be videos about specific aspects of those 6 things. And believe me, there is infinite content about those things. My name is Gustavo Braga. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.